The Knights Templar were an order of monks who acted as both a religious and military force in medieval Europe. They played a significant role in the Crusades and are often depicted as fierce fighters. However, recent historical findings have revealed that only 10% of Templars were actually involved in combat, and most of them were administrative employees. It's also been discovered that the famous battle cry, "God wills it," was a mistranslation, and that they actually shouted, "Deus lo volt," which means, "The Duke wants it." This suggests that the Templars were fighting for worldly ambitions rather than solely for God. In our game, we want to pay homage to these historical figures and explore the darker aspects of their story. The Templars were not just holy men on a mission from God, but also complex individuals with their own agendas and desires. Join us as we delve into the world of the Knights Templar and uncover the secrets behind their legendary status. Welcome to Rapture, the Second Coming RPG, where angels fear to tread, the demons of heresy and blasphemers run rampant. Only the most elite soldiers of God can hope to stand against the tide of evil. The servants of the Most High are humanity's last hope against the encroaching darkness. Among them are the most devout and fanatical of warriors, united under the banner of the Holy Catholic Church. Each of these warrior orders serves an important purpose in the war against the forces of darkness, striking fear into the hearts of sinners everywhere. But there is one order among them that strikes fear into the hearts of even the most hardened sinners. It is an ancient order whose members are shrouded in mystery and secrecy, whispered rumors of whose brutality strike terror into the hearts of all who hear them. These are the Knights of the Temple, whose origins date back to the very founding of the Holy Catholic Church. Like many holy orders, the Knights Templar started with humble beginnings, but unlike many others, they never forgot their roots. Members of this fraternal order must all take vows of service to the Holy Catholic Church and undergo a 2-year vow of silence during their novitiate period. The Fraternal Order of the Knights of the Temple dates back to the 12th century, when European nobles formed the order to protect pilgrims traveling to the Holy Lands from bands of Saracens. The Knights Templar had humble and meager beginnings, but provided a much-needed service at the time of its inception. Brothers who wished to remain in the Holy Lands received room and board at one of the chapter houses in return for riding guard over merchant and pilgrim trains traveling to the Holy Lands. A more powerful force came to overshadow this original purpose, however, the pursuit of wealth. The order's Grand Masters petitioned the Vatican for lands, license, and patents that would allow the order to function as a self-supporting entity. As these awards grew, the Knights turned into one of the most prominent banking institutions of the time. Their holdings included abbeys, monasteries, vineyards, and several castles and strongholds throughout Catholic Europe and the Holy Lands. One of their most enduring and impenetrable edifices, the Castle de Chevalier, still stands today in Syria, and the Knights recently reclaimed it as their own. As the Knights grew in power, the Monastery of the Templars saw a chance to expand its own power, and began the long process of insinuating itself into the ranks of the Templars. A combination of lies, seduction, betrayals, and, most successful of all, blatant appeals to greed inched the monastery toward its goal. By 1298, the lodge completely controlled the Templars' leadership and the holy rites and rituals of initiation. The corruption rapidly spread through the entire order, touching everyone within. An attempt to expand its dominance to King Philip IV of France, however, proved its undoing. Badly shaken by an encounter with the order, King Philip unleashed the forces of France, calling for its eternal destruction. The Pope joined in this call, and the extermination culminated in the execution of its Grand Master. While Philip and his contemporaries believed the order completely crushed, it lived on, taking to the least civilized parts of the world. Scotland, Russia, and the deserts of the Middle East became the Knights' secret homes, where it continued to initiate members into its holy ways. Restored to their former glory by the rise of the Holy Catholic Church, the Knights Templar perform a vital service for the papacy, Vatican Rome, and the Holy Catholic Church. Once the Knights of the Holy Order and the Inquisitors conquer an area, the Knights Templar establish a secure base of operations. The Knights seek out cells of resistance, organize the construction and operation of Inquisition camps, and ensure that the population has full and complete access to the teachings of the Holy Catholic Church. In coordination with the other orders of the Holy Catholic Church and the Pope, the Knights Templar slowly begin to exert a stranglehold on the government and population of a region. The members of the Knights Templar are an elite group of warriors who follow a strict code of conduct and undergo rigorous training. Their influence is vast and their reach is far-reaching, making them a formidable force to be reckoned with. And though they may seem like a thing of the past, the Templars continue to live on in modern times. Knights Templar take an oath of service to the Holy Catholic Church immediately upon their acceptance into the order. For a 2-year period, the novitiate follows a strict vow of silence and chastity while undergoing the harsh training that will make him an active member of the order. After the 2 years, the novitiate is evaluated on his performance in the field by a senior brother. If he passes the evaluation, the novice is accepted into the order and given the standard equipment of a Knight Templar, including the iconic white mantle with the red cross. Brothers who fail the evaluation are quietly disposed of, their knowledge being much too classified to leak out, a lesson the order learned the hard way. After receiving their vows and equipment, new knights are sent to frontier outposts, regions that not fully pacified and converted to the Holy Catholic Church. There, the brothers fall under the authority of senior brothers and masters who direct them in their daily duties, assign them missions, and evaluate them for advancement. Knights are the equivalent of secret police and have every right to enter a home or search private property without a warrant. Knights may use whatever force is necessary to apprehend an individual who is under suspicion. If you're enjoying this video and want to learn more about the Knights Templar, let us know in the comments below. We'd love to hear what you think, and we're always open to suggestions for future videos. So don't be shy, drop a comment below, and let us know what you want to see next. And if you haven't already, be sure to subscribe for more videos like this one. We've got plenty more where this came from, and we're adding new content all the time. Thanks for watching. Until next time, stay safe and keep learning. But now we need your help to grow the channel. Please leave a thumbs up if you enjoyed this video and share it with your friends and family so they can learn about the Knights Templar too. Your support helps us continue producing quality content that brings history to life. Thank you for watching. Until next time. The Protestant Christians came close to dismantling the monastery, albeit by accident, when it unmasked the Catholic practices of the Templar Knights. But the order's roots reach back further than many know. Officially called the Poor Fellow Soldiers of Christ and the Temple of Solomon, Hugh de Payens founded the order around 1128 to protect pilgrims visiting the Holy Lands. At first, the order was strictly Catholic and gained renown for the piety, bravery, and poverty of its knights. Saint Bernard of Clairvaux, impressed by Grand Master de Payens's efforts to rehabilitate apostates, who comprised the bulk of the order, composed the rule and the initiation rites of the order. A portion of the initiation, however, always remained a secret, passed down by word of mouth from Grand Master to Grand Master. Over the next 200 years, the Templars transformed from a religious order of holy knights into a political force, with influence reaching from Jerusalem to northern Europe. Wealthy patrons filled their coffers with treasures as payment for services rendered, and their valiant and loyal service in the Crusades was rewarded with rich lands. The Templars appointed their own clergy and built their own churches, beyond the control of the local bishops. Because they were answerable only to the Pope, none could use the threat of excommunication to control the order. The Templars used this power wisely, setting up a vast network of fortresses, such as Crac de Chevalier in Syria, which provided stability amidst the chaos and safe routes for travel. This stability, combined with a reputation for trustworthiness, made it possible for them to become the most powerful banking interest in the region and eventually throughout Europe. As is always the case, the wealth of the Templars led to their downfall. But the Lord Jesus Christ saw the order as a good fruit, waiting to be sanctified. It blessed several initiates into the ranks of the Holy Knights and bided its time. Working together, these initiates took over the order, as it offered unparalleled opportunities for covert actions. As the final portion of the initiation was entirely verbal, the ceremony could be holy once a single initiate reached Grand Master. From there, older knights who did not agree with their ethos were systematically assassinated on the field of battle. The proud Christian knights met their martyrdom, completely unaware of the cancer that spread within. The initiates used their contacts with learned Muslims and Jews of Palestine, purchasing rare manuscripts and items with gold or blood, depending on the willingness of the owner. Since most thought of the Templars as a reformatory organization, no one questioned their involvement with the roughest elements of medieval society. This was all part of a grand plan to create orders within the order, like the layers of an onion. The order constantly tested the outer layers, or degrees, for loyalty, and they remained ignorant of the knights' true orientation. They received a mixture of truth and justice, a Christian theology with Catholic eschatological overtones. Novices learned that the Christ was the Son of God, and the true Savior as man, but rather a symbol of salvation, or holy wisdom, sent by God the Father to the chosen. According to the teachings, the Church had embraced the holy wisdom, and pious men had the duty to replace the Church, bit by bit, with the glory of God. Only the great Temple of Solomon knew the truth of these things, and only influence, money, land, knowledge, and ruthlessness could bring the glory to earth. Novices who proved their intelligence and prudence would join a higher order, where they learned even more mysteries of the great holy temple. The Templars guarded their Catholic secrets well. Part of the ceremony of initiation involved the blessing of the soul with Holy Communion and holy icons of saints and angels, prayer, sermons, and powerful oaths that renounced the devil and all his evil works. By the time a man entered the temple, the knights made certain that he had sanctified himself from the rest of society. Rising from the saints of society, his word with the Templars would not stand long against the reputation of the most valiant knights in all Christendom, as well as the most effective Western military force in the Holy Lands. But what was this secret? And how did the Templars manage to hide it from the Church and the world? Now, we will uncover the truth behind this secret sect, the Catholic Templars. Let us begin. The Templars initially formed an elite military order to protect pilgrims traveling to the Holy Land. Originally, the order consisted of 180 French monks who took vows of chastity, poverty, and obedience. By 1147, the order had grown to 60,000 fighters. A Templar knight was required to swear an oath of obedience to the Grand Master and renounce any claim to personal honor. The vow obligated him to fight for the order until death. Even after the Third Crusade failed to recapture Jerusalem, the Templars continued fighting the Muslims in the Holy Land. They also participated in the Albigensian Crusade, a campaign to stamp out heresy in southern France. But while commonly known as ferocious fighters, 90% of Templars were actually administrative employees. Their duties included guarding pilgrims on their way to the Holy Land, protecting the borders of Christian kingdoms, escorting important personages, suppressing heresies, and aiding bishops in the collection of taxes. After the fall of Jerusalem in 1187, the Templars became the chief bulwark against Muslim invaders. They engaged in numerous battles with the forces of Saladin, the Muslim leader who captured Jerusalem. During the reign of Grand Master Hugues de Payens, the Templars began building a reputation for piety, bravery, and military skill. They wore distinctive white mantles over their armor, which gave them the name of the poor fellow soldiers of Christ and the Temple of Solomon. The earliest Grand Masters were chosen from among the most pious and austere Templars. As a result, the order gained a reputation for sanctity and was often called upon to perform religious duties. For example, Grand Master Bernard of Tiran commissioned the construction of 8 altars in the Temple of Solomon, each dedicated to a different saintly martyr. The Templars were also active in the Crusades, fighting against the Muslims in the Holy Land. Grand Master Everard de Bar led a contingent of 1,500 Templars to the siege of Acre in 1189, where they distinguished themselves by their valor. The Templars also fought against heretics in southern France during the Albigensian Crusade under the banner of the Cross. But despite their martial reputation, most Templars were actually administrative employees, not soldiers. They served as royal guards, tax collectors, and even diplomats. Templars were present at the coronation of Louis IX in 1226 and accompanied him on his crusade to Tunis in 1248. During the reign of Grand Master William de Beaujeu, the Templars reached the height of their power and influence. They possessed vast estates in France, England, and other parts of Europe, as well as in the Holy Land. The Templars also played an important role in the defense of Christian interests against the Muslims. Grand Master de Beaujeu led a major offensive in 1250, capturing the city of Gaza from the Mamluk dynasty. But the Templars' immense wealth and power ultimately led to their downfall. King Philip the Fair of France accused them of heresy and other crimes and seized their property in 1307. Pope Clement V confirmed the dissolution of the order in 1311. But the Templars' legacy lived on in the popular imagination. They have been romanticized as brave knights errant who fought for justice and defended the weak against the powerful. But the truth of their history is far more complex and nuanced. The Templars were a product of their time, a medieval military order that evolved and adapted to the changing circumstances of the Crusades and the politics of Europe. They were not simply fanatical zealots, but rather pragmatic fighters who employed a variety of tactics to achieve their goals. Their story is a reminder that even the most revered institutions can fall from grace, but also that the past is never as simple as it seems. Thank you for watching. Bye.